LA This Week.
I'm Anna Marcos. Hundreds of Angelenos hitting the streets for the Families Together March to protest immigrant children being taken from their parents. That's coming up.
LA City honors LGBT Olympians over the years with this vivid display at City Hall. I'm Gil Reyes with more of these images coming up next.
It's a simple switch. I'm Rasha Goel. Up next, how the LADWP is encouraging residents to save on electricity.
Hello and welcome to LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yana Kay. Summer vacation may be here, but many people have their mind on school. Are LA campuses doing enough to ensure safety? After several meetings, a group formed by the city attorney's office plans to make some bold suggestions. Gil Reyes has a preview.
After an accidental school shooting at Castro Middle School that injured 2 students in February, LA City Attorney Mike Fuhr took action, calling for a series of community meetings to tackle the issue of campus violence. His school safety blue ribbon panel has now made several preliminary recommendations, including thorough active shooter training at every LAUSD campus.
Robust training of all school personnel, including before school and after school on the playground, and very much principals.
The panel is made up of educators, law enforcement, and civic experts. Fuhr has also recommended social workers with psychiatric experience on every school campus, but realizing resources are limited would also leave it up to each school to decide if one was needed.
What I want to know is, for those of you who have chosen not to, what is the alternative that you believe is going to fill the gap created by the absence of a social worker with psychiatric experience on your campus? So, yeah, you can do your thing, but I want to know from the standpoint of evaluation what it is that's happening instead.
Panelists also want schools to reach out to parents more before a tragedy occurs.
We have parent reps at each school. And I would really appreciate that in the parent handbook, we include the title of these people and what their roles are, their supportive roles. How are they supporting parents, and how can parents reach out to them?
While also giving students a chance to help craft policy.
Going through associated student bodies to make sure that students are always involved in the process, because they are the best advocates for themselves when it comes to the high school level.
The panel is set to make final recommendations to the school district later this summer. I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Another preliminary recommendation is to reach out to the public sector and nonprofits to boost funding for safety programs. Turning now to another hot-button issue, illegal immigration, and a victory for families who are fearful of being separated, as President Trump signs an executive order that will now keep children and their families together at the border. The move comes after massive political pressure and protests across the nation against the separation policy. Anna Marcos talked to some protesters at a recent Families Together march in MacArthur Park.
This Families Together march did just that. But not only did it bring families together, it brought people of all colors, ages, ethnicities, and walks of life together. Even though the Trump administration has ended its policy of separating families at the border, these protesters saw that policy as a red line crossed. They wonder what will happen to the immigrant children still separated, and many wonder if the claims that children are put in cages are true.
I just cannot imagine what it would be like to literally have your kids be taken away from you. As a parent, it is just, it really cuts at the moral fabric of who you are as a country.
You know, he's 20 months old, and like I said, you know, if anyone ever took him away from me, that would just be devastating. So, you know, it's just not right.
I like to involve them so that they understand that we should spend our time helping those that might be marginalized or treated unfairly.
As immigrants, as the immigrant community, this could have been us. This could have been happening to us. We just happened to come in a time period that was a lot cleaner.
Look at all these families with children. They are among the hundreds of people making the march from MacArthur Park to downtown LA, including one mother who's determined to carry her 2 children in her arms all the way as a symbolic gesture.
this doesn't compare. This pales in comparison to what, parents are actively going through right now as we speak. They are worried sick about their kids. They don't know where they are.
The march was put on by the immigrant advocacy group We Belong and other local groups.
We have questions. We have questions what have to happen with these children, their condition, are they being put in cages? What happened to the missing children?
That weakens our communities when families are divided. That weakens our communities when kids don't know where they're going to end up, the trauma that they're going to face.
And while the separation policy may be over, these organizers had a list of other demands. Provide a clear path to citizenship for all immigrants, and stop deportations in the community. And as they approached their final destination, the Edward Roybal Federal Building, it was clear they were aiming their message at the highest office in Washington. I'm Anna Margos for LA This Week.
The protesters are also demanding that ICE, or Immigration and Customs Enforcement, be defunded, and they want due process in court for detained immigrants. LGBT Heritage Month continues with a photo exhibit dedicated to queer Olympic athletes. Years ago, many of them struggled to come out to a still homophobic public, but times have changed. Gil Reyes has more.
Four-time Olympic gold-winning diver Greg Louganis and Councilman Mitch O'Farrell tour a unique exhibit at City Hall. It's a photo gallery of LGBT Olympians over the years. Now, many of the earlier athletes did not come out until years after they competed. Take Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as decathlete Bruce Jenner, and figure skater Randy Gardner, who was famously paired with Ty Babylonia.
Back in the 70s, are you kidding? Unheard of. And so many figure skaters, male and female, were just not able to be their authentic selves. My partner Randy included. Randy came out, I think, in like the mid-2000s, and it was like a weight had been lifted off of his shoulder.
Louganis, arguably the greatest diver ever, says his teammates knew long before he came out.
That became an issue because it's a very small group when you're traveling internationally, and so then it was a question of, okay, who's going to room with the fag? But looking back on it and also meeting up with a lot of those athletes now, I think it was more jealousy because I was winning at the time than it was truly true homophobia.
Councilman O'Farrell's office organized the exhibit to observe LGBT Heritage Month as LA awaits the 2028 Olympics.
There is no better way to do that, I think, than to celebrate being out, being proud of who we are, and being our authentic selves.
We're seeing a shift from hostility to tolerance, from tolerance to acceptance, from acceptance to celebration like the one that we have here.
Now, these vivid images are on display at City Hall's Bridge Gallery that's on the 3rd floor of City Hall. In downtown Los Angeles, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The LA City Library supplied the photographs. The exhibit will be up till the end of the month. Law enforcement officers lace up their running shoes to raise money for Special Olympics. Gil Reyes picks up the pace from a section of the California Torch Run on Ventura Boulevard.
2 miles, 3 miles. This is the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics. It's our 32nd year running the torch throughout Southern California. 900 miles between San Diego and San Luis Obispo. Our goal is twofold. One, to raise money for Special Olympics, and two, raise awareness for individuals with intellectual disabilities.
In Southern California alone, more than 3,000 peace officers from various agencies are taking part. Pounding the pavement for this leg in Studio City are members of the Los Angeles School Police. They're running for the sake of 1,100 Special Olympians competing at the Southern California Games at Long Beach State University.
Costs about $500 a year to outfit an athlete with uniforms, coaching, venues, transportation, and they do not pay a penny. Everything is supplied to them by Special Olympics.
And you guys.
And us.
And as you can see, the runners are almost here at the finish line. The finish line being Sportsman's Lodge here in Studio City. But this relay will continue all the way to Long Beach for the Special Olympics. How was the run for you?
It was good. It was good. A little bit warm, but not too bad. It was good 4 miles. Working for the Los Angeles Unified School District, we have so many special needs students, so many students that are Olympians, and this is just one of the many ways that we support them.
Guys, let's go!
The torch, known as the Flame of Hope, is then passed to LAPD's Van Nuys division. Their team, made up mostly of young cadets and members of the Jeopardy program for at-risk youth.
This is an opportunity for us to reach out in a very positive way to see the human side of law enforcement.
Along Ventura Boulevard, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Each leg was about 4 miles. The Southern California Torch Run raises $1.4 million every year and is the largest grassroots fundraiser for Special Olympics. Underprivileged youth in LA are getting a leg up in the business world through the Hire LA's Youth program. Each year it continues to grow as it puts thousands of young people to work. Anna Marcos joins us from one job fair at LA City College with more. Anna.
Yana, events like this Hire LA's Youth Job Fair are about more than just giving these young people jobs. They are actually changing lives. Stephen Mason has a very busy day as the Hire LA's Youth Job Fair kicks off at LA City College. He gets to meet and check in all the hundreds of young people hoping for a job. They wait in a line that at one point stretches across campus. As a graduate of the Hire LA's Youth program, Mason is one of their success stories.
I come from the life of crime in the streets, the robbery, the burglary, the petty theft, everything.
You sold drugs?
I have, yes.
It was a Hire LA's Youth job that turned Mason's life around. The program holds job fairs like this and works with youth source centers, corporations, and businesses throughout LA to hire young people in underprivileged areas for 6 weeks. The young people get training in financial literacy, money management, and how to interview for a job. Often, the short-term jobs and internships turn into long-term and even permanent jobs.
It's important because a lot of the kids that we pull into the program are young people who are either out of school or are at risk of coming out of school, and so it gives them something to ground themselves, to stabilize, to help their families out, to earn an income, and to understand the meaning and the power of work.
Mason now works for LA's Economic and Workforce Development Department, which runs Hire LA's Youth.
It can change lives. It can inspire change. It can inspire a work ethic in you. It can get you that first honest paycheck. That's all it was for me.
Mason is not the only one succeeding. Erin Hillard now works as a youth employment specialist for the city, and this will be her 3rd summer interning for the TV show American Horror Story.
I was able to work on set. I was able to work in production, post-production, costume, design, work with audio engineers, just basically get the whole spiel. American Horror Story is one of my favorite shows, so basically just be a part of how my favorite show is made. It was an awesome experience.
Today, there are 700 more Hire LA's Youth job hopefuls. Most of those who follow through have a good chance of getting the job.
Yeah, this is my first job, so this will help me because I'll have some experience working with others, and I'll have some experience like getting my money together.
I want to become a singer-songwriter, and I also want to make film for something that can inspire minorities.
Some have dreams for the future, some have dreams that are already coming true. Mason's big goal is now to turn his part-time job with the city into a full-time city staff position. He says he's almost there, and it all started with that first job. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Hire LA's Youth hired 17,000 young people last year. If you're a youth looking for a job or a business owner who wants to hire someone, visit HireLAYouth.com. A popular strip in San Pedro is realigned to make way for San Pedro's newest attraction. This snazzy shopping plaza is still a few years away, but its entryway is already here, and as Gil Reyes reports, with safety in mind.
From this vantage point, you can see the future taking shape at the LA waterfront, and the future looks bright. Just completed is the all-new Harbor Boulevard. It now leads directly to the soon-to-be-built San Pedro Marketplace. Here's how the marketplace looks now. Not much to look at, but wait 3 years from now.
The realignment of Harbor Boulevard is not only the new gateway into the new San Pedro Public Market, but it opens up the aperture on the transformation we are making in San Pedro.
A catalyst that will turn downtown San Pedro into something very similar to the gas lamp district in San Diego.
The port's councilman, Joe Buscaino, and other officials also praised the new outdoor lighting and marked crosswalks for added safety along Harbor Boulevard. What's next? A new town square and promenade for the area. Construction is expected to begin next spring. Construction of the San Pedro Public Market is expected to begin next summer. There will be restaurants and shops when completed in 2021. And on top of all this, literally high above Harbor Boulevard, is the brand new Park Plaza here in San Pedro. I'm standing in it right now with drought-tolerant landscaping, trees, plenty of shading, and of course a breathtaking view of the LA waterfront.
We are building LA's newest destination, one that will improve property values, grow current businesses, create lots of opportunities for new businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, the debate is over. We are moving forward.
Big changes coming soon. Along the LA waterfront, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
The Harbor Boulevard improvements alone cost just over $15.5 million. It's an annual award ceremony that celebrates students and their parents in the LA Unified School District. Rasha Goel has more on the ceremony that was held in downtown LA and the inspiration behind it.
Students like Atel Melgoza are a beautiful hope for the future. As a student who has attended elementary, middle, and high school in the LA Unified School District, the Adelante Award that she recently received is very valuable to her. She's going away for college, but she says she plans to return to LA.
Knowing that my community has given so much to me and made sure that I'm getting an education that will prepare me for college has inspired me to eventually return back to LA because I am going to school in New York. So I do want to come and give back to my community.
Atel was among the students being recognized from 63 schools in Council District 14. The annual Adelante Awards recognize students from elementary, middle, and high schools for academic excellence. The awards have been put on by Councilmember Jose Huizar for 15 years.
The impetus for this was, I recall that when I was a young kid and I would get these recognitions from school, my parents were so proud. They would hang the recognition or the medal on the living room wall, or they would put the trophy in the living room, and it gave me a lot of pride to show my parents that I was doing well. And we want these same kids to take that pride, show their parents are doing well, and encourage them to continue with their education.
Adelante is a Spanish word that means onward, and the award is to encourage these young students to strive forward in their lives.
By bettering my life, be able to help better my family in the process and help serve as a good example to my 4 siblings as they come down the pipeline and pursue higher education.
Seems like many of these students are already on the right track. 130 award winners were recognized at the annual brunch and ceremony. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
Since the Adelante Awards launched, more than 1,600 students have been honored. If virtual reality, video, gaming, and digital characters are your style, you've come to the right place. We're talking about the E3 conference. Anna Marcos has more on the recent industry event.
You never know what sorts of virtual reality characters you'll meet walking down these halls. This was the Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3 convention for short, an electric 3 days of digital doodling and video gaming adventure. The event drew more than 68,000 video gamers and industry people to the LA Convention Center.
I come every time I can. The energy, the excitement, the fans, the consumers, the developers.
Motivation is really just living the experience. I've never been to a convention, so I really want to start off with a big bang and go to E3.
I got my first system. It was a Super Nintendo when I was 5 years old. My parents got me that for Christmas, and it's just been a little obsession ever since.
At one time, E3 was an industry-only event, but it has since opened up to let all the gamers themselves in. Spider lovers, Pokemon players, Creed dweebs, and Tomb Raider types These games are for you.
We're talking about people who are serious about gaming, mobile gamers, streamers, Twitch streamers, and esports teams. That's really our target audience.
And look who else is part of the target audience. We caught our own Channel 35 social media guy and video gamer in the closet, Joe Belden, playing hooky from work. Of course, the diehard gamers got an extra perk, a sneak peek at all the new games and gadgets coming out on the market.
It's really fun. It's really exciting to see the new games come out. We get to see it before anybody else does, so I'm really excited about that.
I'm just excited to see all the demos. Really, I'm excited to play the new Tomb Raider.
Yes, did we mention they got to play with all those toys? I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
The E3 convention had about 300 exhibitors showing off more than 2,000 products. Oh, we have the power to make sustainable change, and it all starts at home. Rasha Goel has more on a starter gift from the LADWP that gives you the tools needed to lighten your home and your bills.
Yana, I'm in Venice, and let me tell you, there should be no more excuses for residents when it comes to saving electricity and lowering their electric bills. In fact, the LADWP is going door to door and handing residents 2 LED light bulbs to help promote and encourage energy efficiency. This is the last bunch of energy-saving LED light bulbs being distributed to the 1.4 million LADWP customers in the past 3 months. This latest campaign is a repeat of LADWP's first free LED bulb delivery, which took place at the end of 2016 to help customers save energy and money.
The 2 LED light bulbs that they're going to get in a very attractive little bag today is going to help them save approximately 138 kilowatt hours annually over the lifetime of these light bulbs, which are much more energy efficient than the incandescent light bulbs that they have now. Over the lifetime of the light bulb, they'll also be able to save $476 in energy savings and costs.
Residents are happy about the delivery, and for some, it's been a matter of making the change.
I think that's a brilliant idea, no pun intended. I think that, if we can help save our resources, our natural resources, and at the same time save some money, that's a wonderful thing.
I've just gotten my first LED bulbs recently. I've been a resistant person, to tell you the truth. I haven't wanted to do it because I liked my very strong 100-watt bulbs. But I just got some recently, and I'm really happy that I have them, and I'm looking forward to having more.
Making the switch will also contribute to the long-term savings and sustainability for the city.
The cumulative savings are going to be over 4,000 gigawatts of electricity saved and $66 million in cumulative savings with all of these LEDs that we distribute today.
Imagine if we all adopted it as a way of life. A win-win for everyone all around. In Venice, I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
And remember, when you are changing out a burned CFL, do not throw it out in the trash can, but you'll need to drop it off at a hazardous waste or e-waste center or to a designated retail store. A workshop helps teach vendors how to do business with the city. LA River Day highlights all the fun things you can do on the LA River, and Union Station gets transformed into a real-life art exhibit. All this in Citybeat. The City of Los Angeles and the local business community teamed up recently for the 3rd annual Accessing LA event. It was a chance for contractors and vendors to get information and hear presentations on how to do business with the city. Accessing LA promotes the city's vision of fostering the inclusion and economic development of all LA residents and businesses. It was the 5th annual River Day at City Hall to celebrate the kickoff of kayaking season and elevate the profile of all the great recreational opportunities available at the LA River.
Every day of the year, people are working on making the Los Angeles River better, more beautiful, more accessible, safer, cleaner. And so our annual River Day highlights all of those efforts.
Folks at the historic waiting room at Union Station got to be part of an interactive art installation. Artist Alexa Mead welcomed visitors to step into the living artwork and create their own vision of the season. Expected to make a big splash this summer are free and affordable swim lessons for kids at LA City pools. As Gil Reyes reports, close to 50 city pools are taking part.
Does your child know how to swim? If not, the city is offering low-cost and no-cost lessons all summer long at a city pool near you. Mayor Eric Garcetti launches a safety program called Swim LA.
Second leading cause of death, accidental death, for kids under 14 is drowning in a pool. But we also want kids to get excited about the Olympics. 2028 Olympics and Paralympics will be here, and this means that some of these kids might be champions in their own backyard in a decade's time.
The LA Department of Rec and Parks is doubling the number of affordable classes for kids of every skill and ability level. Studies show these fun, potentially life-saving skills drop in communities of color. According to the USA Swimming Foundation, 45% of Latino kids don't know how to swim. That number jumps to 64% among African American kids.
Swimming is a fundamental life skill, as the mayor has mentioned, and we have a duty to ensure that every kid has the ability and the right to learn how to swim.
The Expo Center's pool in Exposition Park is one of nearly 50 city pools participating, staying open later than usual so that every kid that doesn't know how to swim has a chance to learn.
Remember what summertime is like to a youth. It's an eternity. These 3 months are an eternity to these kids. So the fact that we can bring this to them now means a whole lot.
Jump right in. Find classes near you at swimla.org. I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Last year, the city offered 18,000 of these low-cost and no-cost classes. This season, they're doubling up with 36,000 classes. Come on out for several 4th of July celebrations in the city, and classic cars take center stage on the LA waterfront. All this in this week's Things to Do. Councilmember Gil Cedillo will host his free 4th of July annual MacArthur Park Independence Day Festival. It'll conclude with a firework display over MacArthur Park Lake. The event will also feature community booths, a kids zone, food, arts, and crafts. All the fun takes place on Saturday, June 30th from 6 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the Levitt Pavilion at MacArthur Park, located at 2230 West 6th Street. For more info, call 323-550-1538. Councilmember Curran Price will also be having his own fireworks show at Exposition Park. The day will be filled with free family fun with live music, games, food, and activities for all ages. Pack a blanket and sweater for the evening. The event kicks off at 11 a.m. with live entertainment, and fireworks extravaganza comes to life at dusk around 9 p.m. Kicking off an exciting summer lineup on the LA waterfront, make sure to head to San Pedro for the 10th annual Cars and Stripes Forever. More than 100 pre-1975 classic cars and motorcycles will be on display. Crowning the festivities will be a dazzling fireworks presentation that begins at 9:15. The event takes place on June 29th from 5 to 10 p.m. at Harbor Boulevard and the Vincent Thomas Bridge. The family event is free and open to all ages. For more, visit lawaterfront.org. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.